Brock Lesnar returned at SummerSlam 2021, and he returned in a way I never thought we would see. As Lesnar made his way down to the ring to confront Roman Reigns, he was sporting a new look and a brand new attitude. Babyface Brock was upon us. He was smiling a lot and speaking for himself, and now 6 months later after the Day 1 event, he's WWE's Babyface Champion. I think this version of Lesnar is the best version ever. We waited for well over a year for Lesnar's return to the company. For me, it was a much needed break from the man that had pretty much achieved everything there was to achieve in his former incarnation, and I won't be alone in saying that the brutal Brock Lesnar main event model was played out. Lesnar was an incredible heel, don't get me wrong. There's always a place for the unstoppable monster at the top of the mountain, the final boss of the company, so to speak, and I really enjoy that hierarchy. The babyface challenger overcoming the odds is one of wrestling's original and best tenets. It's tried and tested, and it just works. With Lesnar's legitimate fighting background, he's a proven badass, and that backstory gives him immediate credibility that no other superstar can have. WWE were absolutely right to keep going to the well with Lesnar as a monster final boss style heel for as long as they did. That real life legitimacy that he had was accompanied by on-screen legitimacy too, as he tore through the likes of The Undertaker and beat his hallowed streak. The Undertaker's streak was the most protected story in all of wrestling, and it was handed to Lesnar on a plate. Lesnar was previously, briefly, an overt babyface in 2015 when he returned to feud with Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. However, in actual fact, just like throughout much of his career, he transcended wrestling's face or heel dynamic and was simply a badass fighter that just took whatever he wanted. In 2021, it was certainly time for a change. Predictability had set in, and unless WWE started booking Lesnar to lose, there was nowhere else for him to go. That year off and reset as a babyface really was needed to start this new chapter in Lesnar's career. When Lesnar returned at SummerSlam, the fans popped big time, a good sign for the babyface version of his character. It's a feud we'd seen before involving the same men, but now we were going to see it from a different perspective. The roles had been reversed. It was one of wrestling's biggest ever 180-degree turns. We'd sat and watched for years as babyface Reigns delivered Superman punches to Lesnar, the fans just not buying Reigns as their hero. With Reigns doing such a fantastic job as a heel now, the feud definitely feels refreshed, rather than same old, same old. What with Reigns now holding the Universal title for nearly 500 days, he needs a challenger that can believably take him down. And damn, do people enjoy booing Reigns, and they really seem to enjoy cheering on Lesnar. Finally, we have someone to rally against and someone to rally behind in the main event. At Day 1, the feud between Lesnar and the Tribal Chief was about to take its next step as they were to wrestle for the Universal Championship. Unfortunately, Reigns was struck down with COVID before the match, and instead Lesnar was added to the WWE title main event, a match he emerged victorious from, lifting the WWE title at the end of the night. We have had far too many white meat baby faces at the top of the card over the years, and you can squarely blame that on John Cena. It's his preachy, square-jawed good guy above the hate character that they tried to force Reigns' babyface character into, and we'd seen enough of that for a lifetime. What got Steve Austin over in the late 90s is the fact that while being a babyface, he still did not give a shit for authority. He threw his weight around and basically did whatever he wanted. Lesnar is now displaying those traits too, and taking it to a whole nother level. Lesnar doesn't mind intimidating those around him to get what he wants, and he generally walks around the place like he owns it. and goddamn, they trust him again to cut his own promos, something that was unthinkable a few years ago. And wow, he really has an actual personality when he's not in killing machine mode. He's genuinely one of the funniest superstars they've had in a long time. Anyone watching from the UK will attest that he's the exact kind of guy that you're acquainted with down the pub who makes you genuinely burst out laughing, but you just know that he could actually kill you in about 3 seconds flat if you got on the wrong side of him. When was the last time we had a babyface main event superstar that acted like a badass? Cena certainly wasn't a badass, and neither was Roman Reigns as a face. Smiling Brock Lesnar is exactly what WWE needs on top right now.